The Integrity Commission's case brought against Member of Parliament Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert will proceed to trial, Parish Court Judge Leighton Morris has ruled. Dalrymple-Philibert's attorneys, Peter Champagne and Nico Pagan, had raised preliminary points regarding the charges against the legislator and a possible abuse of process by the IC. However, the judge refused their application to dismiss the case in a decision announced in the St. Andrew Parish Court on Friday, December 13, 2024. The trial date is set for March 31, 2025, with case management hearing set for February 7, 2025. In September last year, the IC ruled that Dalrymple-Philibert, a practicing attorney, be slapped with 8 criminal charges for making a false statement in her statutory declaration filings between 2015 and 2021. The charges relate to breaches of the Parliament Integrity of Members Act and the Integrity Commission Act, and are connected to the purchase of a 2015 Mercedes-Benz, which she omitted from her statutory declarations for 6 years, and the controversial use of a 20% duty concession to purchase it. The IC alleged that this omission violated the Integrity Commission Act, which requires public officials to provide accurate and complete declarations of their assets, liabilities, and income. Additionally, questions arose about her use of a 20% duty concession to acquire the vehicle, a benefit typically meant for government purposes. While Dalrymple-Philibert claimed the omission was an oversight, critics questioned the plausibility of forgetting to declare a high-value asset and suggested it reflected poorly on accountability standards in public office. This controversy ultimately led to her resignation from the Speaker role and brought broader criticism of her continued involvement in politics.
Now, as we said earlier, the parliamentary opposition is insisting that the House Speaker should step aside. After the report was tabled in Parliament, Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert refused to allow the opposition to speak, so they walked out of the House. Andrea Chisholm has details.
It's given orally.
The moment the opposition walked out of the House of Representatives, we're not able to hear what they were saying because Parliament now has a new microphone system controlled by the Speaker, who is at the center of the controversy. Delroy Chuck was, however, able to speak.
Leader of the opposition, you rose to ask a question based on what the Speaker said. The Speaker's position is very clear. Clear to everybody. A report was tabled in the House. There will be no question. We move on.
And move on they did with the parliamentary business of the day. Not satisfied with being muzzled, the opposition called a press conference to outline their concerns. Firstly, they believe House Speaker Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert should not have presided over the matter.
She was a judge and jury in her own cause in deciding the process to be followed. That was unacceptable to us. Should be unacceptable to all well-thinking Jamaicans. She should have had no role whatsoever in what happens to that report. Once it was tabled, she should have made her personal statement. She didn't do that. She issued a release to the media. She never had the decency of telling Parliament what she should have told us, what she wanted to say about the matter.
The Integrity Commission report will now go to the Ethics Committee of Parliament and the Integrity Commission Oversight Committee.
She sent it to the Oversight Committee. She decided to send it to the Ethics Committee, which she chairs. She has now, as chairman, convened a meeting of that committee for next week.
The purpose of the Oversight Committee is to look at the functioning of the Integrity Commission.
Yes.
The Oversight Committee is not here to review reports that are made about individuals, public servants. It is totally inappropriate for it to be sent to the Oversight Committee, dominated with 13 government members and 2 opposition members, to decide what should happen here. It's an absurdity. She's supported by all 49 of them over there. She must resign. It is the only decent thing for her to do. Resign. You're referred for criminal prosecution. Resign and go clear your name. If you come back, fine.
In our view, it is absolutely untenable that Jamaica's parliament can have somebody holding the office of Speaker who is subject to criminal prosecution for a corruption-related offence. It is untenable for us as parliamentarians to sit in Parliament and have the affairs of Parliament adjudicated by somebody in that situation. Not to mention our public image, our international image as a proud democratic nation with among the parliamentary democracies of the world, to have a situation where our Speaker has that cloud unresolved.
Since the Integrity Commission has decided to charge me criminally for an omission, I have considered the damage this has done to my reputation and have decided to tender my resignation, both as the Speaker of the House of Representatives and a Member of Parliament for South Trelawney, with immediate effect." End quote. The words of Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert late Thursday afternoon, which sent shockwaves across the country. She has found herself in legal hot water over her failure to include a Benz GLA 250 motor vehicle in her statutory filings from 2015 to 2021. She was also facing pressure for her use of a government concession as detailed by the Integrity Commission's probe. As for the failure to include the vehicle in her filings, Mrs. Dalrymple-Philibert said, quote, "I maintain the omission of the vehicle was a genuine oversight, as there would have been no allegation against my name had I included the vehicle in my declaration. Therefore, I had no motive to have deliberately omitted it." End quote. She also claimed that nowhere in the report has the Integrity Commission raised any question or concern about the source of funding for the vehicle, which was purchased through a loan from a bank. Additionally, she explains the vehicle was never sold or transferred to anyone in the past 7 years. Mrs. Dalrymple-Philibert argues what has happened to her could have happened to any other member of parliament, public servant, or civil servant. Her decision to resign, she said, is voluntary and not at the request of anyone.
After a year in being removed from her positions, however, she was re-elected to represent Trelawney Southern in a by-election on November 22nd and resumed sitting in the House of Representatives this month. The People's National Party decided to not participate in that election for the parliament seat in South Trelawney. Here is a video of her constituency welcoming her back to Parliament. However, after being re-elected to Parliament, Dalrymple-Philibert was disappointed to find that her request to throw out the charges of statutory declaration was overturned and she will have to stand trial for those 8 charges. The trial date is set for March 31st, 2025, with case management hearing set for February 7, 2025.